It's time to put your health in your own hands. Get ready to learn from today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited because today's guest is Dr. Ruth Rodriguez. She is a board-certified osteopathic pediatrician, wife, runner, and a mother of two. She helps parents with telemedicine, or in-person customized health and wellness consultations. With her experience of over 23 years in both office and hospital pediatrics, she has developed a 12-week step-by-step program to empower parents with a combination of holistic, natural medicine remedies, including affirmations, nutrition, and spiritual and other alternative pediatric advice. And Dr. Ruth is the international best-selling author of the book, Natural Solutions for Your Child and Family, A Pediatrician's Path to Wellness. Welcome, Dr. Ruth.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tammy. I'm so glad to be here.
This is a pretty interesting time that we live in. And what I really think is interesting about your background is that you're an osteopathic pediatrician, and of course you not only meet with people person to person, but you also do telemedicine. And this new book that you've put out really is a nice start or guidebook for people if they're interested in this natural solutions. Can you tell me more about why you personally turned away from Western medicine and really prefer a holistic lifestyle?
So when I was doing my office practice that I did for over 15 years, I started getting sick more and more every single year, and I always knew which child in the office was making me ill, and I started seeing a coincidence of that, my own personal illnesses to my mindset and what was personally happening in my personal life and my emotions. And then I just started seeing it, putting it together with the children's emotions and the families and the ideas that they were coming into my office with, which coincided with their illnesses. And then I discovered Louise Hay's book, Heal Your Life, where she had already mapped out emotions, illnesses, and affirmations for them. And I just started researching more and more on my own and started listening to other practitioners. I had a grandmother that was very much into natural remedies. She used to make herbs and tea combinations for us growing up as a child. I also had the dichotomy of my father taking me to the pharmacy, because back then that was the tradition or the cultural norm, that you would go to the pharmacy and the pharmacist would recommend a medication for you before going to the doctor's office. Or maybe that was just my dad's way. He always wanted to be a physician, so maybe that's why he was doing that too. But anyways, I saw this dichotomy, and I saw the dichotomy in myself, where I would use vitamin C or echinacea when I had a cold from the children. But then I was prescribing antibiotics to the children, and they were coming back with negative side effects. And so I just started slowly transitioning. It took me about 2 years to completely turn over everything that I had learned in medical school to non-toxic natural products in my household. I got sick myself. I went through a divorce, and right prior to that, I was sick. I was hospitalized for 5 days with a massive sinus infection, which turned into bronchitis. I was giving myself breathing treatments before going into the office, and I really had met my own criteria for hospitalization. When I found myself in the hospital for 5 days, and then the downtime that I had there just made me realize that there was a better way. I didn't have to succumb to traditional therapies, even though that was all that I knew and had been taught. But I could go back to my grandmother's teachings. I could benefit myself. And then one day I took a nap and I remembered I'm an osteopath. I'm not an MD. I'm a DO. I'm an osteopathic physician. So in medical school, they teach us about osteopathic manipulation, how our illnesses affect the musculoskeletal system, and osteopathic manipulation of the musculoskeletal system, like similar to what a chiropractor does, but there's a little bit more involved. So I went to a osteopathic physician that did osteopathic manipulation of my sinuses and my upper body to open up my chest because I was coughing a lot. And that's when I started putting it all together with essential oils, learning about herbs, and I just started learning more and more, going to conferences, researching on myself. And then at the end of those 2 years, I pretty much came up with a 12-week program initially, but now I've condensed it to 6 weeks, where you can completely make that shift to holistic, natural, organic products, not just medications, but our everyday products. As I became increasingly aware of toxic ingredients in our everyday products, such as hormones and pesticides in our food, and there's just so much more that incorporates, our health, not just medications when we're sick, but it's a whole lifestyle of, healthy living. And so I just wanted to get that message out.
Well, think about that. I'm listening to you, and it's like you literally lived the journey of coming from, hey, I was taught all of these things like, here's an antibiotic for this, and take this pill for that.
Yes.
And then as you realize there has to be a better way, and then using the osteopathic methods, for your own health, and then doing all that research. So let's talk a little bit more about, explain to me so that I can understand, like when you're talking about holistic or natural medicine, what is that exactly? How would you describe holistic medicine?
So the basis of holistic medicine is to do no harm, which was my Hippocratic oath. So that was something that immediately attracted me to it. Holistic medicine means a whole. So you want to treat the body as a whole. You want to do natural remedies that do not cause it any harm. And also the basis of holistic medicine is to get to the root cause of illnesses. Because so much, going back to the emotions, so much of the root cause of our illnesses is our thoughts and emotions that lead to diseases in our body. And affirmations, positive mindset, meditations, prayers to counteract those negative emotions that might be causing the illness. So it's like a combination thing of taking care of your emotions. It's mind, body, spirit is the easiest way to describe what holistic medicine is. It's a mind, body, spirit practice where you take care of your mind with positive affirmations and thoughts. We take care of our body with natural remedies and our spirit with meditations.
Meditation.
Meditations and prayer for the spirit connection.
So that's holistic. It's mind, body, spirit.
Exactly.
For that. So when you're treating people like this, it's like you call it a lifestyle versus a treatment, because it really is the way you live your life. And of those things, when you're connected like that with your mind, body, and spirit, what are the major benefits that you see for raising healthier children?
Well, it's not just the health benefits, but it's true vitality. and also by healing the child, that the whole entire family benefits from that as well, because you can't just put a child on a specific regimen. You can't pray over the child, I believe, without getting personal benefits back for yourself, and that the whole family, benefits from eating organic, having a positive mindset, and prayer or meditation together. So that was also my major reason to empower parents with that possibility by showing them how they can make the shift.
So the program that you've put together then is actually, it's like a shift from a traditional Western medicine thinking to where every time you go, oh, you're sick.
Right.
So you go to the doctor, and this is more like, let's not get sick in the first place.
Yes, it's very much preventative medicine, but I can also help a child that is already on a prescription medication and the parent wants to take them off of that because of side effects or just because of the long-term negative effects that it may have, and parent wants to switch that child to a natural remedy. I can do that because I have mapped out all of the children's major, most common illnesses now, and I have paired them with a natural remedy for it.
Oh, wow. So if you were to work with different people, what could they expect that to look like if you were going to help them move from traditional prescription medicine to more of a natural or a plant-based therapy?
So those are my two options. You either can work with me if your child is already ill acutely or chronically taking a prescription medication, that I can switch them over to a natural remedy. And then, of course, I would also continue to help the child the parent to create for the child a holistic lifestyle that the whole entire family would benefit. Or your child may be well and you're just concerned about pesticides and hormones in our food and BPA in our water and all these ingredients and our everyday products that we cannot pronounce, and you're concerned about what could that be doing to our long-term health, then that's the 6 to 12-week program that I've created, where I would talk to them every week about, 1 week would be about our everyday products. The other week would be about ingredients, to avoid in our food, what nutrition benefits, how we can use nutrition to heal our bodies. And also included will be the preventative medicine talk about what to do in the future if your child gets a cut that gets infected, if they have a tummy ache, if they get a fever in the future. And it can benefit the whole family as well, because almost everything that a child can get, right, an adult can also have also.
Right. So let me ask you some questions that I'm sure people in the audience are thinking about it, because I'm thinking about it. I have a new grandchild, for example. So I haven't thought about children for quite a while, but now I have a baby that obviously now I'm going to be thinking about, how can I help my granddaughter have the best, healthiest life? So let's just ask some basic questions, like with children, for example. How do you help them to like eat more of the foods that are good for them, like fruits and vegetables? How I know when I was growing up, I might eat a green bean or something or not. There's certain things that when you're a little kid, you might love vegetables and fruits. And then there's other kids that, to them, a potato is it, in a French fry form.
Yeah.
So how do you help families or parents, help their children to make those good food choices?
So there's been tons of research now that prove that increasing our fruits and vegetables enormously benefits. There are some diseases, there are some cancers, to be boldly honest with you, that people are only treating with nutrition only alone. And they're having fantastic results. So definitely increasing the amount of fruits and vegetables that we take. And through the years, I have met a lot of children that were resistant to that. So there's like two different ways that I can think of. One is if they won't eat it, maybe they'll drink it. So you can make smoothies, you can incorporate as many fruits and vegetables as you can, and blenderize them, if you will, and have them drink it in a smoothie for breakfast or as a snack is an easy way. And now there is also whole food nutritional, not even supplements. I mean, I want to call them supplements because they are capsules and gummy bears for children, but it's really whole food nutrition. So there are pulverized fruits and vegetables now in a capsule form and in gummy bear form that the parent could give to the child, where they would get an exponentially increased number. The gummy bears that I know of that I recommend have 11 fruits and 11 vegetables in each one. They also come in capsule form that if it was a small child, you would just open up the capsule and sprinkle the powder in them if they were too little to chew a gummy bear.
Wow. Yeah, I think that the gummy bear type of vitamins has to be one of the best inventions ever, because people like, I have trouble with pills or capsules.
Yes.
And it's like that I can certainly eat a gummy bear or that and get that nutrition. So that's I love that invention.
Yeah. Or just open up the capsule if you can't swallow capsules, or if they're too young to have a gummy bear, because you don't want to give a gummy bear under 2. You would just open up the capsule and sprinkle that in there. And then I'm glad you mentioned vitamins. So they're not vitamins because they're not going to have X milligram of vitamin A, X milligram of vitamin C, because they actually are pulverized fruits and vegetables. They are whole nutrition. Yeah. So it's not going to give you, it is as if you're eating 11 more fruits that day if you're taking the fruit gummy, or 11 more vegetables.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it's not going to give you, so then your body can absorb that and use that and create its own vitamin A from the nutrients that it has received from this broccoli, apple, whatever.
See, it just proves that the way we're taught to think about food and about nutrition may or may not be correct, because, it's like, oh, take your vitamins. That's what it was when I was growing up, and they didn't even have these opportunities to actually be consuming whole food like what you're talking about. So right now the
other thing I wanted to mention is that our food is not the way it used to be in the past. It doesn't have, the soil has been depleted of nutrients with time, and we're just not getting that good nutrition. I mean, for example, if you've ever gone to Europe, when you go, I've been to Italy several times, and when you go to Italy, the taste of a watermelon that comes from the garden of the neighbor is completely different than a watermelon that you have here from California. And so we're not getting as much nutrient-dense, foods like we used to in the past.
Yeah, I remember even the smells of, for example, peaches at the grocery store. They don't smell like sunshine and peaches. They smell like chemicals or something. They don't smell the same. So I really get that. So what I was going to ask you about is our immune systems. And I know a lot of parents, there's so much controversy about everything health related now. So what are the natural solutions for boosting your immune system. And I imagine some of what we've just been talking about,
Yes.
eating whole foods and consuming healthier products like the gummy bears or the whole pulverized fruit might be helpful. What else can people be doing to boost our immune systems?
So the nutrition is the basis of our immune system health. That's the first thing that I do, and make sure that parents are boosting their immune health for their children, especially as well, to eat more fruits and vegetables. And then the other thing, like what we talked about earlier, is to try to buy organic, non-GMO, non-pesticide food as much as possible. So it's actually labeled that way, makes a huge difference. So your body doesn't have to process all of these extra chemicals. And then the other things that I recommend, because we are in a pandemic and you may or may not be exposed to someone that has a virus and thousands of other viruses and things that are around us, is to increase our vitamin C daily. Vitamin C as an antioxidant also diminishes the stress hormones when you're under stress, the oxidants that our body produces when we're under stress. So that's why I like vitamin C so much. There's other things to boost our immune system, such as vitamin D, although I don't worry so much about that because we're in Florida, so at least 15, 20 minutes of light exposure. Most Floridians get enough vitamin D. Is one of those vitamins that our body produces on its own. So you don't have to take vitamin D supplements unless you're indoors all the time or live in an area that's not so sunny. But even indirect sunlight, in the shade, you get ultraviolet light, and then the ultraviolet light going through your skin, your body is triggered to produce its own vitamin D. I also like zinc to boost our immune system. But I use that more, specifically if the person doesn't think, if they're getting sick often or they think they've been exposed to someone. So really the basic groundwork of boosting our immune system is eating more fruits and vegetables so your body can heal itself and take care of itself.
So it sounds like a lot of the things that you're talking about are really, it's like start paying attention to the real food that you should be eating, and of course pay attention to the organic and how it's grown, because everything pretty much now is labeled on how it's grown. You just have to educate yourself to understand what those labels mean and what they don't mean, because sometimes, something might be labeled natural, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's organic. So
right. Sometimes they just do natural flavorings, but it's not organic. So you don't know what pesticide, what hormone, what coloring was used in it. In chapter 4 of my book, I list the toxic ingredients in our everyday products. So you can look under shampoo and see the ingredients that shampoos have that might be harmful to you, or soaps. And so you would try to read the labels and try to purchase things that don't have so many of those main ingredients that have been researched. They just haven't gotten much popularity because it's much more expensive to take that preservative, take that ingredient out of the products and create a organic, non-GMO, safe product.
Yeah.
There is several companies, but the one I know of specifically, they guarantee that all of their products are absolutely toxin-free. So there is much more choices available to parents nowadays.
Wow, that's pretty phenomenal. So tell me a little bit more about your book, because I was looking through it, and you talk about mind, body, and soul. And you just mentioned that you actually outline different products that are better to use than others. And I know that you also, you mentioned affirmations and prayer and meditation with your children. And then you mentioned, praying over your child also. So I have a question related to that. So with children and affirmations, do you have a protocol that how you teach people to work with their children so that not only are they doing affirmations with their children, but their children are learning how to talk to themselves in a positive way? Because think about that, man, if you can start that early, the positive self-talk.
Yes. So I basically grouped because going through learning from the Louise Hay book, I thought I wanted to make it simplified for parents and especially for the child's sake. So I basically lumped, if you will, all of the negative emotions into 3 categories because children basically are either afraid, they're angry, or they're sad. Pretty much all the other complex thoughts and negative thoughts and emotions can be grouped into those, 3. They don't have fear of the future. They don't worry about the past. They don't have this complex, thinking unless they're older and they've grown up in this environment. So in chapter 2, I have a table. So these 3 types of emotions, and I list other emotions underneath them. So the parent is like, well, the child doesn't have either fear, anxiety, or anger or sadness. They are frustrated. So that I group that under anger, for example, anxiety, frustration, bitterness, denial, domineering, blaming, stressed out, nervous, anguishness, stubbornness, critical. So I grouped that all under the anger category. And then in chapter 2, the table shows the possible health issues that might be associated with that. And then a list of 10 affirmations. If the child is old enough, they could say it themselves because basically anger is about feeling peace or not feeling peace when you have these negative emotions. So the affirmations counteract that feeling of anxiousness and anger and anxiety by creating peaceful affirmations such as I am in peace with others. I am at peace with myself. I am creating a peaceful, supportive life for myself. I am creating a loving experience and a joyful world. I'm creating a loving family. And so the child could say this to himself, or if the child is too young, the parent says it to the child and just incorporates, we have a loving family. We are creating together a peaceful environment. And so it benefits the parent as well.
I really like that a lot because I think that's what we need more of. And your book, Natural Solutions, it's giving you things that you can do that are natural. It's just a way, like you said, if you can do these positive affirmations with your children early on, then you think about it, you get that positive energy going within not only the individuals, but also the whole family can become healed or stronger on that emotional, spiritual level. And that could be extremely powerful and positive. So do you have any favorite cases or case studies that are good examples that you could share?
I do. I have a patient of mine as a student that would always get very anxious and nervous right before exams. And she would just be into doom and gloom that she was not going to do well, even though she had stayed up late at night and studied for all of her exams. And I said, let's do the affirmations that, everything is going to be okay. It's going to be peaceful. This is going to work out for you. You're going to do well. You've prepared well. Everything's still going to be okay. And that's kind of and she did this several times, and it took a few sessions with her to get her to memorize what she was going to say. And at the beginning, it might seem strange to you, but it's one of those things that I don't want to say fake it till you make it, because you're not faking it, but you just have to get into the habit of doing it repetitively till it becomes second nature, because our thoughts do lead to our emotions, and our emotions do lead to us, getting the stress that we feel, that most of the time it's in our mind. So it's like affirmations, if you will, it's like a placebo effect, mind over matter effect. And so she did this, and she's gone on to the college of her choice, and she's doing wonderful in school. And she always remembers to ground herself and just step aside, even if it's for a few seconds or minutes, and just say, this is okay. I'm going to do this. Just, you have to be like your own, affirmations to me is like being your own cheerleader, and you can make up your own. It doesn't have to be the ones that I list. You can just make up your own pertaining to the particular situation that you're at.
I really like that because, like I said, the book you've written is more like a guide, like a guidebook that gives you a good launching points, and of course, sound advice about, you don't have to do everything in what would be considered the traditional Western medicine, which is here's a pill, that's the answer for everything, when there are natural solutions. So when you have this program that you put together, who would be the right fit to work with you?
So the right fit is parents that have been thinking about for a long time, or have been researching themselves already, that there are toxic ingredients in our everyday products, that our thoughts and emotions are making us sick, that already are aware of this. They may or may not have already started eating organic. They want to, or they're tired of going to the pediatrician's office so many times, every time the child gets sick, wasted time and money, the parents skipping work, and the child missing school. So they're like, there must be a better way. They've just reached their limit, and they're like, there's got to be a better way. I either spend hours and hours on the weekends or in the evenings researching all of this and figuring it out for myself, what supplements, what nutritional products we're going to eat, what about the ingredients in our everyday products, and what am I going to do the next time the child gets sick? Do I take them back to the doctor's office, or do I research at every single illness that they have and figure out what's the natural remedy? This is my ideal client, where I have already done that for myself. I've done it for my patients and clients, and it'll be a win-win situation, not just for the child, but the whole entire family will benefit.
I can see how that could be a big benefit, because again, you are a doctor, and so you have that edge because you've already gone through all of that medical training, and of course your specialty is pediatrics, and parents normally, their whole claim to fame is, I have this child and I want the best for my child. I want them to grow up to be healthy. And so, like you just said, they end up trying to do all this research, and yet they don't have the nuance of knowing even where to start or where to look. So before I ask you my next question, I wanted to say, if somebody wanted to reach out to you to connect with you, what is the best way to do that?
So the easiest way is to go to my website, naturalsolutionswithdrruth.com. And there you can click on the schedule an appointment link, which takes you to my scheduler, and you would choose your date and time, and we would talk like you and I are talking here, to figure out what's, the best next step for them, and if we're a good fit, if my program is what they're looking for.
Great. So with that, who would you say would not be a good fit for your program?
So I just made a post about this on my, I'm also on Facebook. I've got a Facebook group and a Facebook page, Natural Solutions with Dr. Ruth. And I just did a post about this. So if you believe that you still have to take antibiotics and you still have to suffer and miss, work, and children have to miss school when they're sick, if you still have this, mentality that there is no other way out of what, we are doing, that we have a great healthcare system and everybody's getting well and there's no negative side effects, then this is not for you. I mean, I've actually had, conversations with people. They're like, absolutely not. You mean, what else am I going to take besides an antibiotic for a tooth infection? I'm like, oh my gosh, I can list like 3 natural remedies, boom, 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 that you can do that have worked. So if you're a person that is skeptical about natural remedies, it's not going to work. A person that just doesn't, believe that we are spirit having a human body experience, that this is not all there is to our existence. If you are agnostic or atheist, it's not going to work for you because there's no spirituality in that.
Well, that really makes a lot of sense. So I'm thinking about what makes you stand out with all of this, and that is that you're looking at the whole person,
yes,
mind, body, and spirit, and you're saying, hey, look, I've done this research. I have found the natural solutions for these different health issues so that you don't have to risk your health with the side effects of the man-made or pharmaceutical made things, because that's what gets me on all of these, the millions of dollars that are spent on these things, the millions of dollars that are spent, and of course the side effects are, myriad in that. So before I let you go, Dr. Ruth,
I truly believe that this is the future of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is integrating mind, body, spirit. We cannot, continue to take all of these pharmaceuticals and suffer their side effects, and not get the benefit, not see the benefit. I mean, they've taken the art out of medicine.
Right. Well, I think that you're definitely somebody that anyone who's wants natural solutions for their children and for their entire family, someone they should reach out to. So can you remind everybody what your contact information is?
So it's my website is naturalsolutionswithdrruth.com, and there you can schedule your free discovery call with me. You can also, it's in the book. It's in the Kindle version. At the end of the book is also my contact information, or the Natural Solutions with Dr. Ruth Facebook page and group as well.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I need to let you go right now. So again, Dr. Ruth, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you so much to you and your listeners.
Okay, thank you, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. To get more solid health and wellness information, visit OptimalHealthRadio.com.